Well, the action continues with the Speedworks Motorsport Championship at Hampton Downs, and we're into our last race before the lunch break. And it's time for the single-seaters. So if you look at where the people came from the Hondas, it was all about Hamilton, Auckland, the Central North Island. Now we're into the High Q Components Formula first. We've got races from Papatoe, Palmerston North, Edgecombe, Pukekohe, Auckland, Havelock North, New Plymouth, Auckland, Waimalku, Papamoa, Fielding, Auckland, Palmerston North. So plenty of petrol heads in Palmerston North, I can tell you that. There's petrol heads all around Auckland, petrol heads all around that Central North Island as well. So, Sheridan, where are you from?
I'm from Palmy, local lad down there, and part of the same motorsport team. We're all based out of Palmerston North there, and our home track Manfield, and we've made the trip up this weekend for another great weekend of racing here at Hampton.
A bit like the old Palmerston North Panthers and the stock cars, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Hopefully we go a bit better than them and maybe go one step higher.
And you don't crash.
No.
And there's no need to, because it's the High Q Components Formula first. Great race yesterday. All about open wheelers, all about racecraft, slipstreaming and drafting. Fantastic racing. And let's see what happens with that battle out in front between Reece Hendl-Cox and Chris Simon, who's off to a dead set flyer.
He's off, he's gone, he wants to win this. He needs to finish well ahead of Reece Hendl-Cox to close that gap in the championship. 84 points in it, and with a couple of rounds to go after this at Taupo.
Yeah, back-to-back races at Taupo, so it's going to be a great performance here to see what's happening here between Chris Simon and number 19, Reece Hendl-Cox. And
Liam Foster there being the meat and the sandwich to the championship. There's a spin in the background. Ron Carter's had a spin. I just saw it in the background there at the first hairpin. And in fact, he's cleaned out Bob Dillo.
Wow, a couple of the old boys.
Our Sunset Drivers having their own.
That's a good name, Sunset Drivers.
We just talked about Palmerston North Panthers and the team champs and no contact, and they've gone and ruined it.
So is that the curse of the commentators or what? We just put the mockers on them. And the other guy we were talking a bit about was the scholarship car. Good to get a shot there of Ronan Murphy. I just said he seems to be growing in confidence, both in body language outside of the car, but also top 5 finish yesterday, speed in the car.
Yep, both our rookie runners there for their title, running side by side up the front straight. 91 is the blue scholarship car, that's Ronan Murphy, and in the green and black car, that's Thomas Boniface. And unfortunately Thomas having a problem yesterday, but they really battled out this season for the rookie championship, as these guys are going to try and go 4 wide down into turn 2.
You got to love that, don't you? Hey, you just got to see how they all just position themselves, ready to do a bit of slipstream and drafting, and then just bang, 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 all single file, just pulled out and decided to really go for the attack. So there's a bit of velocity in there. The man from Velocity News joins us, Simon Chapman. How are you, mate?
Good, mate. How are you, Clint?
Are you still the BATAC champion?
Yes. I've even improved my market.
So BATAC, just explain for people what the hell it is if they say, what the hell are we talking about?
It's like this weird contraption where you got to press all these buttons really fast. Go on YouTube and look up BATAC, and race car drivers use it to basically test their peripheral vision. Oh, and it looks like we've got one off in the gravel down at maybe turn 1 there. Oh no, the hairpin actually.
Kyan Davies gone a long way off from the gravel. That looks like turn 3 perhaps, coming out of turn 3.
Was it coming out of the dipper?
Yeah, looks like it. Safety car's out.
So he's having an attack, not an BATAC. And it's all about improving your peripheral vision, but also your reactions.
Yeah, so
from a race point of view, from a racing driver's, the quicker your reactions, the better your visual awareness, the better you'll be able to perform behind the wheel.
Yeah, and it basically tests your peripheral vision and how good it is as well. And it was interesting getting some of the Formula First young guns up into the media centre and having a go on it, and most of them were actually really hopeless, which was kind of disappointing. Only scoring around the mid-30s.
So I'm just going to take that back, Simon. That's not Kyan Davies at all. He just drove past. So it is. Is that Thomas Boniface?
Could be.
Yeah. That's Thomas Boniface. Sorry, I've completely missed. Thomas Boniface has gone off there out of turn 3. So I got something right.
I think he's been escorted.
Yeah, we've been.
Judging by the marbles, and if you look at the racing line, perhaps they might have been too wide coming around the dipper.
He's gone a long way off as well. That's
and
really deep.
Look at the racing line there, the sand. He's obviously come out and round a long way off the line. So Yeah, and he hasn't tried to break through there. He's just gone charging.
So the gravel traps here are actually, they bog our cars down real quick.
Well, that's a sand trap, isn't it?
So coming out of turn 3, they're full tilt under power coming out of there, and obviously he's gone off, been escorted wide, and perhaps tried to power through that and then come out the other side. So it hasn't quite worked. The sand is.
He's tried to turn that into a 4-wheel drive Formula first. Talking about the Palmerston Panthers. Why did I bring that up? Why did I ever go down that road?
Exactly, Clint. So he's tried to turn it into a VW buggy instead of a VW Formula First, unfortunately. But he's made a little bit of contact with the wall. Hopefully the car is all right. Thomas is all right. He's out there walking around looking a little bit despondent, unfortunately. But hopefully...
Ryan lives for this moment. Ryan, the recovery man. They live for this. They'll hook this baby up and they'll get this out of there. Quick, smart, pronto, tonto. We
really should plug the volunteers that are around here. They do a great job here at Hampton Downs of recovering these cars and getting us back to racing. And most of them are in motorsport enthusiasts as well.
Deborah Day and the team, clerk of the course, and of course all the flag marshals out and about.
I should commend these guys behind us. They let us race yesterday, and even though there were a couple of cars on the side of the track, they let us race, and we got to see some fantastic racing right at the end.
So Simon, you were looking at that BATAC championship and you've set the scene 58?
Well, I set a 56 yesterday. I went one better this morning with a 57.
But Geordie Peters is right behind you.
He's got a 55, I think, at the moment, so he's doing all right.
And the best of the drivers?
Best of the drivers, it was maybe Ronan.
So we were saying his confidence... outside of the track, Speed Sports Scholarship, have you noticed a difference in him, both performances on the track and outside?
Yeah, Ronan's real interesting because I actually got to meet him fairly early on when he was doing some of the Toyota 86 test driving, and he wasn't the most comfortable person, I wouldn't say. Like he sort of kept to himself, and sort of it was kind of like the Greg Murphy thing maybe took over a little bit. And
well, you're coming out of the shadow of a famous motor racing father.
Yeah, totally. And he was sort of coy with the media a little bit, and he was sort of like, I don't really want to have the spotlight all the time, even though he's wearing his dad's helmet. But he's definitely come out of his shell, and he even comes up into the media room and spends a bit of time with us. So he's definitely come out of his shell a lot, and it's just a matter of getting that car to the point where he can be really competitive and up the front.
It's also a point of him getting where he's in his own comfort zone.
Totally.
On the track.
Yeah.
For his own reasons.
Yeah.
And he's here to be himself a racer, which is why I think Greg's done the smart thing, is you go away and learn how to be a racer yourself, because you wanted it. You really pushed it, not so much us, backing you. We'll give you all the assistance. But, if you want it, then, you can go and build, and we can just guide you in the right direction.
Yeah, it's a shame that we don't get to see Greg out here and the two of them hanging out. I think that would be...
He's an angry Irishman.
You think he might stir the pot a bit too much?
No, he's fine.
I tell you what, Simon, you'd be surprised how many times he's actually turned up.
Yeah, he's been around.
You wouldn't even know he's there. He just
in the background,
backseat driver.
He was down there at Manfield. Him and Kev were down there, and they were just doing their own thing. So he'll be just sitting back, because he'll be the same thing, because he turns up from supercars and Greg, how you going? And everyone wants to have a chat, and by the time he wants to watch his son, he'll end up being doing all that sort of stuff.
He's been very good. Like, he's just let us do what we need to do at Sabre Motorsport, and then with us looking at Ronan, we could have flogged it like a dead horse that he was Murphy's boy, but we just sort of said no, he's Ronan, do his own thing, and both the whole family, including Kevin, they've all just enjoyed the fact that it's him. There's sure, he wears the helmet and all that, and he's got the name, but it's all about Ronan. This
is all about the rookie battle. Thomas was doing really good, wasn't he?
He was ahead until this round. He was 11 until yesterday. Ronan took over. He's 11 and a half ahead, and now he's going to be even more ahead now with that DNF, and hopefully they get that car fixed for the last race.
So the lights are out on the Lexus safety car. Just reminding you of 4 laps to go. Foster, Hendl-Cox, Fraser, Simon, Smith. Murphy is there, the guy we've been talking about, Davey and Mullaney. But it's all about the battle of the championship. It'll be 3 laps after the restart, with 4 laps at the moment. So it's Hendl-Cox who's second at the moment, number 19. Chris Simon is 4th, he's 28. That's the car number, and they are the championship contenders here. So,
and we're into it now. They're away.
But Liam Foster's had real good speed. He's the young driver out of Papatutos. 3 wide, down into turn 1. You can do that in these small cars, but it's also being able to keep them on the track as you slide around. Billy Fraser having a look too. Got to keep it onto the ripples and off the grass inside those limits, and down they go to turn 2. Hendl-Cox, he's made that sweeping move straight away. Up and over 3, down into 4, the higher pull hairpin. Fraser's got the inside line on Foster. Simon's lurking. He'll have a look. Brakes.
A lot of curve there.
Touch. There's a bit of a touch.
Good rubbing. Good race.
Oh, no!
Touch back. Oh, and they sent him into the wall almost.
Good recovery from those two.
What was that all about?
I can tell you what, this is interesting. Myself and Jonathan, the engineer of the Speed Sport Scholarship Car, we were discussing it this morning that Reece Hendl-Cox is way out in front. He's defending a lead. Chris Simon is chasing. He's got nothing to lose. And these other guys, they don't really care about their championship. They want to win races. So Chris Simon has really got to be careful what he does here. Needs to win, needs to finish in front of Reece. But these other guys, they really don't care about their championship. They want to win some races.
Well, that was a little bit of argy-bargy, because you don't normally see that.
Yeah, Billy's done well to get back up into 4th now, and he's actually challenging for that final step on the podium as they go 3 wide onto the front straight here.
There'll be some heat under those helmets. There'll be some big heat under those helmets. But at the moment, Reece Hendl-Cox is just looking at his mirrors and going, bye-bye, boys. I'm out.
And he's broken the slipstream, and he's broken the draft.
That was really interesting. It looked like Foster was signalling to Fraser there to actually go by, so...
start a freight train to get up behind Chris Simon.
Try and punch a hole in the air and maybe work together and get to the front here with what is 2 laps to go.
One thing interesting, Chris and Reece, who are the most experienced guys in the field up the front, they yesterday we watched a bit of in-car from Reece, and they just worked together to actually drive away, and then in the last 2 laps they actually battled it out for the win. So it's all about working together perhaps for these last couple of laps until you get to that last lap board, and then it's all on.
And Reece was such a young gentleman, he let Chris go at the start of the final lap. He said, no, you take the lead. You take the lead and escort me, and I'll just get the nice little slipstream and draft all the way through. And I'll return the favour on the start-finish line.
Yeah, I won't tell you what Chris Simon called himself, but he was not happy with it. he knew it was coming, and he just made a complete ball up of it, really.
Here we go.
All right, last lap. Now the slipstream, they're getting dangerously close to cutting that entry line by the pit lane. So it's Reece Hendl-Cox, a 120.6, the championship leader, showing why he has been the big improver this year out of Edgecombe. He's had the edge on the field. Chris Simon, his championship chaser, is right where he needs to be. He's been harpooned. The LV man, Liam Foster's back up to 3rd, and Billy Fraser's 4th, Amy Smith 55. Then Ronan Murphy 91. And the field further back down, all getting back onto the track after the initial bit of contact between some of the back racers.
2 Sunset drivers there, Bob Diller with a broken nose, and Ron Carter, they're trying to get their way back into a better spot than they were in Flynn Mullally, trying to keep up with them.
So the car's got the broken nose, not the driver?
It'll be the car, hopefully they don't get... We'll see what they happen after the race, but it's going to be close.
I tell you what,
for second.
You can't break him, you can't shake him. Reece Hendl-Cox, man, he is just fly. He's doing a great job this year.
You want to see some excitement, Clint? This would be a good run to the flag for second.
Yep.
Amy Smith might sneak something, even if they have a bit of a mistake.
Reece Hendl-Cox, the racer out of Edgecombe, he's had the edge in the field, and he's going to take the checkered flag, extend his lead in the high Q components. Formula first, down to the line, Foster nabs Simon right on the line for the second race in a row. Chris Simon gets nabbed by the big slipstream in the draft. But that's all about positioning. Fraser, Smith, Murphy coming home in 6th, Davey Dillo, and then Carter and the rest of the field with Thomas Boniface, the big loser,